All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Winning Play Podcast. I am your host, national youth speaker, and author Sean Gary, and we have a very, very special episode because today is going to be a little bit different. I know you guys are used to us having the rings and all that good stuff, but this isn't your regular episode. No, it's not. Today, we are actually on the road. So my first question to you guys, after you hit the like, after you hit the subscribe, is what name do you like better? Because my daughter does not like roadie episode. And I was like, hey, it's kind of catchy, whatever. But the purpose of the name change for this episode is because we're not in our normal studio. We are on the road. So yes, as a speaker, we are not in Ohio. We're in Indiana right now. And if you can tell, we have some snacks because we're at a school and we're in a teacher's room and not his room.
Oh, no.
And so we raided the snacks. And so we're not going to do our normal ring, but we are going to eat some snacks that you might just find in a classroom, because that's what we're here to do, is talk about students, help students, that help parents and teachers and principals. And you guys know what it is. You know what we do. We're trying to bring the Win and Play to you guys. So without further ado, I'm not even going to get into the bio. I'm just going to let my friend here, Matt, talk to you guys, share his story, and we're going to jump right in. So, Matt, thank you.
Thank you
for taking
Sean.
the time.
Yes.
Appreciate it. You're getting some nice snacks out of it.
Oh, yeah. I love the snacks.
For sure. Today, I would like for you to first start off with, tell us a little bit about what your background is with education, as far as not necessarily, let's go back before you actually got into education.
Okay.
So coming up, was there any type of something that happened where you said, oh, I'm going to one day I'm going to be a teacher, or anything like that?
No, not exactly. I knew that I've always wanted to be in the field of education.
Okay.
I remember just, why did you want to be a teacher? It's like the old Apple Jacks commercials. I just do. There was not just like this particular person motivated me to become a teacher. It's just, I always knew I wanted to be in the field of education to inspire future, hopefully more educators, to inspire greatness out of students. So
Nice.
That's why I chose this profession.
Nice. And then as of right now, let's skip all the way to right now.
All right.
You've been teaching how many years, and what are you teaching, so that people can know early, oh, wait, okay, I'm that kind of teacher, or, oh, this episode is perfect for me because X, Y, and Z.
All right. Well, I have been in the field of education since 2002. My senior year in high school, I actually got to be like a cadet teacher. And then during my college years, I got to go in and volunteer. And then I served as an assistant for like 10 years. And then I got my first job, believe it or not, in kindergarten.
Okay.
I loved it so much, but I thought my heart was in another place. So then I taught 5th grade. And then which brings me to my current position at Highland Elementary as a 2nd grade teacher. And I've been in that position for 7 years, and I've been enjoying it ever since.
Okay. So 2nd grade,
Yes.
started with kindergarten, and
Yes.
then was it 5th? What was the other grade?
It was 5th grade. Like I
5th
said,
grade.
I thought I wanted the older kids, but after 1 year, I said, nope, I really like the younger ones just to see their light in their eyes and just that learning and that growth. I mean, not that you don't see that in 5th grade, but that passion is still burning strong at that younger age.
That's cool. Well, sometimes I mention some of my journey as a sub, and
Right.
one of the questions that I'll get asked is, so actually, I was a professor in my 20s. So I was an
Okay.
adjunct professor, taught at a couple universities. And in that season of my life, there were students I had that was older, seasoned, we'll say, as to being in their 80s. I think, I can't recall her name, but I want to say she was like 84, 85. And God bless her, because she was showing up, she was working. Work was not that good. Excuse me.
That's
Just
all right.
being honest, it was not. Something was just in my throat. But yeah, her work wasn't the greatest, but I loved her tenacity to just keep pushing it. But anyway, so I've had students up to 85, but then And then as a sub, I've subbed my first teaching during that same time, I was a gym teacher. I was a health and wellness facilitator.
Right.
So that was a elementary school. That was kindergarten through maybe 5th or 6th grade, maybe 5th grade.
Okay.
So and then as a sub, of course, K through 12, for all these years. So I'm asked, what grade or what group do you like to teach more? They ask me elementary school, middle school, high school, or college. And I said, first of all, college is the easiest because they're just going to do the work, right? You assign it, they go do it, and then you just talk about the parts you want to talk about to touch on.
Right.
And then I say, as far as the K through 12, elementary school students, to me, I love their energy. I love their innocence, if you will.
Right.
But it's like those younger grades, if there's issues in the classroom, which this is kind of what they're asking me, right?
Right.
Like behavior. And I say, well, with the younger group, you just kind of use that grown man voice, and they'll respond like, oh, Mr. Gary, mean business, or
That's
whatever.
right.
So if you're loud or you have that voice, you turn that grown man voice on, that typically will be enough with the younger groups. But then the high schoolers, I feel like they're more about respect. It's like you respect them, they're going to pretty much respect you. You connect with them, then they're going to be more willing and open to, do what you're asking, things like that. It's more, but they're more chill, laid back. They kind of want to be on their phones and doing their thing and, whatnot. It's about respect. Then the middle school students, that's where it's like, they're in the classroom not knowing who they are yet, farting just to be funny and saying dumb stuff just to get a laugh. Like that's to me, my opinion, that to me is the most challenging group out of the three to really be able to get them locked back in. Like, hey guys, let's get to work, let's be busy or serious or whatever. So that's kind of like my take. I want to ask you the same thing with your grades. You had kindergarten,
right? You
had 5th and 3rd, second. Okay. So what are your thoughts with those three? What did you experience?
Overall, I thought 5th grade was the hardest, just because in the school that I was in, they were the big people on the campus, so they had a lot of attitude in that. And for my personality, that just did not fit my style of teaching. I love my kindergarten and 2nd grade experience. But it all comes down to building that relationship. No matter if it's a 5-year-old or an 18-year-old, it's about building that relationship and knowing no matter what happens that you have to make sure, even during those times, there has to be a correction, that you have that strong relationship with that student, because they know at the end of the day, it's not that you're trying to set them up for failure, it's that we want you to be the best you can be.
Nice. Ooh, I love that answer.
Thanks.
That's awesome. So now you did mention that earlier on you just kind of already knew you wanted to be in education. Is that
right? I've never. I mean, like for example, before the big teacher shortage, when I started going through, it was very hard to get a teaching job. Mm-hmm. And while I was working my way through college, I also work at a local theme park, and there was a whole bunch of full-time openings. They're like, well, why aren't you going for that? That was just not my drive and my passion.
Where was that? At the theme park, or?
It was a seasonal position. Holiday Road and Splash and Safari.
What is it called?
It's Holiday Road and Splash and Safari, located in Santa Claus, Indiana. We're the number one for fantastic family fun.
Shout out.
Anyways, but no,
get your discounts with the link below. Look
at but no, I love the service field. You're giving back to society. But I just knew just doing that full time would not make me. At the end of the day, you want to be happy, and I knew that was not going to make me happy. Even though I loved it to death, it's just something about education. At the end of the day, and like this particular time of the year, we are finishing up all those state testing. And what I like about it, and at the end of the year, we already talked about it today. I always do a shirt called Team Metcalf.
Okay.
So like on the front, Team Metcalf, they get the tie-dye at May, and then on the back there's a quote. And it's just knowing that you get a group of 20 to 25 individuals, and then now at this time we've brought them together as a team to be successful, not only as academically, but social and emotionally, to be ready for that next step that they'll be heading in May.
Nice. I am so excited about this interview because I've had On the show so far, I've interviewed someone that had a tutoring company. Has some, I think everybody has in some form or fashion been in education that I've talked to, right?
Right.
But she has a company with tutoring. I interviewed another person who was a teacher for like certain circumstances, I'll say, whether it be IEPs or things like that, you know, different circumstances. I also had a parent, and this episode hasn't released yet, but by the time they see this, it will have.
Right.
But a parent who has a child with special needs. And so we talked about a lot of the struggle, the good, the bad, the ugly with having a child that has IEPs and 504s. And I was learning all kinds of stuff on the episode. I'm like, so tell these people what they need to do, you know, to help them out. And so that was an interesting episode too. But what I'm saying is, I haven't yet had an actual, man and teacher, like just straight up teacher, you know? So this is really cool because that was one of the hearts behind the purpose of the show, is to get teachers, principals, educators on here to give the game, to give that winning play. So what I like to do next is, what are some of the challenges that you have seen as a teacher thus far?
Well, I kind of laugh because you did mention male, and I primary. So I'm currently working on my doctorate.
Okay.
I'm in my.
Hold on. We're not about to graze over that.
Oh.
I need y'all to put in the chat, throw this man some love, because that is really cool.
Yes.
I'm mad to get you back when you finish it, so you can say congratulations on the completion and all that good stuff.
Well, hopefully, in a few months, it will be Dr. Metcalf.
Okay.
And ironically, I kind of giggled at that is my study is.
Are your students lacking confidence? How's their decision making in the school? What about their effort in the classroom? Are they giving it all that they really, really have? Well, these are things that, as a national youth speaker and author, I address in school buildings. If you are dealing with any of these issues and you would like to have a fun, exciting, full of energy presentation, assembly, don't hesitate to reach out. My website is SeanGary.com. How they think about their next choices will be different. Go ahead and book a discovery call with me, which we simply have a conversation about what their challenges are, what their needs are, and then I can share with you what I would say, do, what talks that I have that address those areas, and also what an assembly would look like. And yes, I'm pretty much there the whole day. All right, thanks a lot. Now back to the episode.
Looking at the experiences of male primary teachers.
Wow.
The goal is to kind of recruit more males into the teaching, not only into the teaching profession, but at that primary setting because of that stigma. I mean, you don't see me tall. I'm 6'6". So
he's tall, y'all.
So when, like, for example, a 5-year-old looking at me, they may think I'm this big, mean giant without even noticing who I am. But once the students get to know who I am, I'm usually the fun teacher that everybody wants every year. And I do provide different experiences that normal students normally don't get. And so some of the challenges for me is just not getting used to just making sure that, because of my gender, to make sure that I'm not this big scary man, that I can be nurturing, that I do care about the students and their well-beings. It may not be the same way as somebody else would, but deep down I do care about every one of my students, even if they're in my class or just, making those relationships outside of the classroom.
Well, real quick, kudos to you. I want to throw you some flowers while you're here. When we were in your room today, it was like amazing watching just how you were handling everything. You weren't missing a beat on anything. You had control of the classroom. You had a flow of the classroom. Your authority was present. Like, when you spoke, people responded. And my daughter even said something like, man, that class right there. I was like, man, wasn't he on it? It was really cool to see that.
Right.
And there was another element that I observed of you really enjoying, their excitement and me being there, and they were all like, oh my gosh, you, like how you got involved. Sometimes teachers they'll be excited that I'm there and stuff like that, but whatever their students are going through, maybe they have a disconnect with enjoying something that the student is enjoying with them, right?
Yeah, so like I have high expectations every day, which your like motto is winning. I love winning, and I always tell my students it's not about getting first, it's about giving your best every single day. So every day in my classroom we always strive to be a winner and not a whiner.
Nice.
And
I like
that's
that.
right.
I see what you did.
Yeah.
I see what you did.
And so we have this mindset of being in our green zone. That's the best zone to be in. We have that mindset of a champion. We're thinking about giving our best effort. And yes, I have high expectations, but I also the one that will dress up. I walk around this past September, Rock Your School. I dressed up as the king from Candyland.
Okay.
Usually,
Nice.
if it's a dress up day, especially around Christmas, I wear an elf costume.
Okay.
And you would think somebody, a big tall man,
6'4", right?
could control a classroom, but it's about gaining that respect. And once again, coming back to those relationships and forming those relationships.
For sure.
I mean, because I can walk into the classroom with dyed hair and just crazy, but yet this deep down, the students know those expectations and that they want being in that classroom to be part of something that is amazing and great. And it's coming that as a teacher, getting that climate and culture to make sure that this is special. You know, we only get to have these students for 180 days, and we only have 180 days to make a memory.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, and I do it every year, is I create a memory video and just sitting there watching like different things and going back and watching my former students when I watch those videos. It's just at the end of the day, what are you going to remember in 20 to 50 years in your life? Is it going to be, well, I learned my ABCs or 1, 2, 3, or it's like, I remember my teacher dressed up, or my teacher dressed up a cat in a hat, or my first year here, I set off the fire alarm because I brought in a smoke machine. God, hey, I had the best administrators. But anyways, just, I mean, there's that particular group is in eighth grade, and they still remember when I see them. You
set that alarm off.
I set that alarm off, and I'm like, that's something they're not going to
never forget. Right.
So it's about, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what their test score was, or if they passed some test, or they're way below. Is did I make a memory in that life that maybe that will inspire them to become in that education field, or even a male primary teacher. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Now I gotta ask you.
Okay.
I gotta ask you.
All right.
And I know they're probably wanting to know too.
All right.
What is the wildest, craziest, most creative thing you dressed up as?
Let's see.
Or complicated. What gave you what's that memory of the one that's like, oh, I ain't gonna forget doing this one?
I will. Okay, so it's not just about dressing up.
Okay.
So, I'll just say my favorite memory is it's around the Christmas season. It's we have a middle of the year assessment. They worked hard first semester, and I started this when I started teaching kindergarten. I didn't do it in fifth grade, and then I came here. I transform my room, so it takes. I've gotten quicker. But I take, the lights you see that get flashed on houses. I hang those up from my ceiling. Don't tell the fire chief. But they walk in, and I cover my door with different themes. This year was a dinosaur wrapping paper theme. But every time that door opens, and just get to hear their oohs and ahs, and this is excited. And I think that's probably one of my, I think not crazy, but that's something that they still talk about. Yeah. Even future students I will have, they're like, are you still going to do that big Christmas party? Or I've started at the end of the year doing a glow stick dance. So just something, like I said, for me, it's about making that memory that they can look back on that, and in their second grade year that they got to have a teacher who went beyond what is required.
Got you. So it's not just one outfit; it's more of the whole experience.
Right. For me, it's like working in this theme park industry. It's about the service. I can just be the typical teacher that works from the contract is 7:30 to 3:30, but I feel that what experience are you giving to those students? And I know every teacher is different. They have different backgrounds. Where I'm a little bit more fortunate than some others, but it's at the end of the day, what are you giving to these students that is going to make a difference and make a memory for them for wanting to come to school?
Yeah, that's good. So, for that teacher who's watching, who has never, ever, not once, didn't even think about it, decorate their door, what could you say to them to maybe encourage them, or to not to convince them, but to encourage them just to consider, maybe if I decorate my door, it may help some form or fashion with teaching? What would you say?
I wouldn't say you have to decorate your door. Like I learned this past summer, you do what it was on what you're capable for. So just make something special. Like I'm one of those people that goes beyond and does crazy things. That's just me, and it takes a lot of different types of teachers to make a better connection with those students. There are some teachers that do a great job with students when they're very upset, getting them calm, cool, collective, and back to class. That sometimes that's not my forte. So like I said, I do what works for me, and I would just tell any teacher out there, do what works for you. That's what the kids or the students are going to remember. What was special about that teacher to them? So like, I'm one of the ones that does the crazy things, but there's certain things that that's not my forte, which I see other teachers, and that's why to have that diverse population of teachers in a building to make it be successful, then that's what it needs to be. So I'm not saying you have to dress up. It's just make that connection with those students in your own way. What are you and your capabilities able to do to make that connection with those students?
Nice. I love that. So you have already dropped some diamonds, man. And I appreciate you sharing everything you've shared. And sometimes it's not necessarily the what, but the how. And so what do I mean by that? In your situation, you're setting an example by what you're doing and how you're doing it, that other teachers can see and say, hey, I like that. I like what he's doing with this or that. And like you said, maybe they can't, fold a piece of paper 10 times, white piece of paper, cut it, and then boom, it's a full blown, you know what I mean? But like you said, to figure out what your thing is and dig into that, that's cool. All right, so here's a question for you.
Alrighty.
When you were in 5th grade, teaching the 5th graders, what 5th grade class, what was the most challenging, crazy something that happened? Whether it be something somebody said, something one of them did, what'd you witness? What was something that you experienced?
If I had to go back and do that particular situation again, I just went in thinking I had that connection already with those students because I had already worked at that particular school as an assistant. I thought that connection was there, and just it was a great learning experience, knowing that how important that connection is to those students. And when you don't have that connection, it just caused other issues. And also, it's about the overall environment. I will say, coming here, it's just a different environment. I feel supported by my administration. It's not, like I said, they give me that flexibility within my reins. I mean, sometimes they have to rein me in a little, but just as a leader, they have given me the reins to be me. Where I felt, like I said, there was a mixture of things, but I felt coming here, that I felt that I was trusted. And I still, to this day, I feel trusted and secured by my leadership, knowing that I may not be this textbook teacher to do A, B, C, and D, but that my way of getting the kids motivated and to produce great academic work and great social behavior, I'm not one of those. Their style of leadership and their culture has let me have that flexibility to be me as a teacher. And I think sometimes that's the most challenging thing as a teacher too, is your leaders letting you have that flexibility, or are they trying to mold you to do what they did? Because that was for me. And for me, it's, you've got to let people be them, be real. Because if kids can pick up on when you're not real. So that's what I like about our leadership. They let us be who we are to get the best out of the students. And at the end of the day, we want to make those memories.
Yeah, that's good. Do you guys have any, within the school, is there any I don't want to call it a program, but I'll ask you like this.
Okay.
How do you get a chance to, there we go, do you get a chance to connect with other teachers in a way where not necessarily a mentoring situation, but where you can really grow from their experiences and connect, and it's more of an intentional activity specifically for that? Like, we show up for this to learn from each other, to help each other. Is there anything like that, or would you feel like it would be beneficial for teachers anywhere to do anything like that?
I think, and working in the EVSC, I think there are things put in place for it to happen. Everything can do better. But for me, I'm very self-driven and motivated. When you're talking about that, I'm a social butterfly. So I'm always going to teachers, the new ones, the veterans, and just listening to them. What are they doing that I can learn from? I mean,
Right.
I've done it for 9 years. I don't consider myself a seasoned veteran. There's still more things that I could work on to build a better, to be the best teacher I can be. So,
Right.
and for me, I also work with our local colleges to have practicum students, so future teachers, future teachers, and just help them be ready to, when they have their own classroom, to be successful. So that's what I've been able to do. For me, like I said, EVSC has done a great job thus far, but I know they're trying to work on making that better connection to make sure that we're able to, all of us, make sure every student is able to be successful.
Nice. Now, on the teaching piece you mentioned just now with the students coming in, how would someone who says, hey, you know what, that's cool, he had students in college coming in to help out, how would someone who wants to do that? A teacher who says, I want to get some students in.
Believe it or not, I used to be shy and quiet. But just come out of your shell. Like, with me, especially with my admin, I'm one of those people. I will ask for, can I have $500? No, but you can have $200 for this project. So just be willing to ask and get an answer. Because I rather, at the end of the day, be like, say, oh, I wanted to do that, and say, oh, we could have done that for you.
Right.
So,
my God.
just ask. Go to your school leaders. The worst they can say is no. I mean, don't be afraid to just ask. Because, I mean, I've gotten a lot of things just because I've asked, and, yep, I get told no. But I'd rather be asked, get told no, than be like, oh, that's not going to be an option. So, like, for me, working in my doc program, it does help having those connections as well. But like I said, it's just asking your administrator, saying, hey, I think I'm ready for this. I feel I'm ready to be a mentor to a future teacher to help them be successful. And usually, through most programs, the administrator could contact the person they need to be able to get a practicum student or a student teacher.
Okay. Nice. All right. We are at that point in the episode.
Oh, no.
The Win and Play
Alrighty.
podcast, where it's time for these win and plays.
Okay.
So here are your options.
Alrighty.
You have principals, teachers, and parents that you can select, and you need to give 3 tips to each one. 3 win and plays to each one.
Okay.
Or you can say, I'm going to pick just one of them, and I'm going to give 5 winning plays.
Let's do the 3.
3 each?
Yes.
All right. Floor is yours.
All right. For principals, just remember your why. That just your climate, your leadership, and making sure your climate and culture in your building is being where it's making your teachers be successful, in turn to make your students successful. That would be my biggest tip for principals or inspiring leaders that go into the field. You said teachers. Sorry.
Was that one for principals?
Yes.
So you got 2 more?
Oh, 2 more. Okay.
Yeah.
Second.
So he trying to get us. I'm not trying to get us, man. Look. If you're watching right now, I'm going to interject. This is going to help him take a second to think too.
Yes. Yeah, thanks.
Guys, if you're watching, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you share this episode with other teachers. Maybe you have that friend that as a teacher, they have not put any extra time, any energy into being creative with their students, They haven't gone out the way to decorate their rooms, to do the doors, to dress up, and just pull the most out of themselves first to pull the most out of the student. So we're not going to point any elbows at them, but just send this video to them so they can be encouraged, they can be inspired to do more, be more for the students that they serve. Because again, we're here for the students. And so we're going to hit that like button for the students. We're going to hit that subscribe button for the students. And we're going to share this with other educators, other student advocates, youth advocates. Guys, if you're just tuning in, we snacking on the snacks we found in this room. And I don't know if I've ever had animal crackers and Skittles like combined together, but they good today. They are good right now. And I'm going to continue to enjoy them. And so, guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We're going to get back to it. All right. Number 2.
For leaders, don't forget where you came from. I know that our leadership is very good about realizing what it's like to be in the trench of the classroom. So don't forget that when that teacher is frustrated with just different things and they do call for help, that remember what it was like in the classroom, just because they've dealt with it longer than what you think. So just remember that, hey, if they're calling for help, just remember that you were in that role, in their shoes at one point. And then my last one, I would just say, just remember to say thank you. Just say, hey, I appreciated that you covered that classroom today when nobody else would, or just, hey, thank you for going that extra mile today. I just a thank you goes a long way. So that would be my 3.
I love that. I love that. I love that.
All right.
Principals. All right. So you want to go teachers next, or you want to go parents?
Let's go teachers.
Teachers. All right. Hit them.
My advice is ask for as many Starbucks gift cards as possible. No, I'm joking. Just remember your why, because there's even some days I ask myself, why am I, when it's been rough, why am I still doing this? But I remember at the end of the day when a student comes up and goes, you're the best. And I'm like, okay, yes, that's why I want to become a teacher. My second advice is, especially for the rookie teachers, it will get better. I remember living at school from sunrise to sunset. It does get better. And my third advice is, for teachers, just remember to take time for yourself. And I really have had to learn that working on my doctorate, is sometimes I've got to let school stuff stay at school so that I can focus on that.
That's
so
good. That's good.
For parents,
yes, parents, listen up, parents.
All right,
listen
parents, make sure that, remember, at the end of the day, it is a team. That your child and the teacher, you're part of this team. The teacher can do great things, but it's not, we have to have your support to help your kid be successful. So just remember, you're part of this team as one, to work as one to be successful.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
My second advice is, teachers are, just remember, the teacher is trying. At the end of the day, they are trying to give their best to be successful. That they may not want to respond to your message at midnight, but they will get back with you soon as they can. Just remember, at the end of the day, they're trying to do what is best for your child. So, and my third tip is, once again, Starbucks gift cards do wonders. No, I'm sorry, but I mean, at the end of the day, just once in a while, just, I get messages from parents and they just say, thank you so much. I mean, just a simple thank you now and then. Like I said, I'm joking about the Starbucks gift cards. I mean, that's a nice perk, but just knowing that they say we appreciate you for all you do. I mean, it just goes a long way. So just a simple thank you does go a long way, parents.
Nice. Well, listen, I appreciate you being on the episode.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Fun. I'm going to continue to eat my snacks.
All right.
The episode is about to be over.
I know.
And those that are watching, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and make sure you share this with other people. Share the platform. And if you feel like you want to be over here in this seat saying, hey, I got 10 years, I got 15, I got 20, I got 25, 30 years, whatever your experience is, maybe you just started teaching and you're like, I hate it. Whatever it is, if you feel like you have some value to bring to the show, to make sure, to the podcast, to make sure that other people are able to better serve the students they serve, by all means, send me I'm all over social media, The Real Sean Gary, any platform. Send me a message, follow the episode, comment in it below, whatever you need to do to reach out and say, hey, I'm somebody who I feel like I have some value to the podcast, and I really want to be able to share that with the viewers. And we also are on Facebook as well. We have a Facebook group, and the group is growing, but it's the Win and Play podcast. That's the group. And join the group, jump in there, encourage each other, give some wisdom, some nuggets, some diamonds, whatever you want to drop in there as well. So is there anything you want to say before we go to the people?
No, once again, thank you so much for inviting me on your podcast. Thank you for coming to our school. I know particularly my class was thrilled. But my favorite part is, how did he know he was coming to Highland? Because you sent those videos out early.
Say that again.
Because you made your videos, and they're like, how did he know he was coming to Highland and all that? It was just cracking me up. So, like I said, I appreciate you coming to help inspire the students to be successful.
I enjoyed it. I loved every moment of it. Every moment of it. All right, guys, that's all we have for this episode. Make sure you tune in on the next one.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.